do not get in touch with me, like just break all ties. I know that you're really into me and I'm just not into you, and I didn't want to give you false hope, and let's just leave it at that. And it was on a train station. I got on the train, he kind of put his shoulders down and walked away. We still laugh about that because he's like, I'm like, why did you not ask me to stay? And he's like, you'd made it quite clear. I was like, you're a man, when do you ever do what you're told? Anyway, so if you're listening to this, Tommy, you walked away and left me that day on the train. So then about maybe 2 or 3 years later, I had a million first dates, and I was like, and every date I was kind of going, Tommy wouldn't have done that, or Tommy would have spoke to me better than that. So I then started to kind of go, why am I relating everybody back to this guy that was like, like I dumped him, he dumped me, whatever happened. So I then in 2010 there was a thing on Facebook, and my friends put this thing up, and Tommy had made a comment on it, and it just said Tommy McKinnon. It was a picture of an ice hockey player, and Tommy was a professional ice hockey player. He's a ice hockey coach. He works in engineering. He's a total man's man, and I thought that has to be him. So I messaged him just saying, "Hi, stranger, long time no speak," and he messaged back saying, "Thank fuck you're still alive." So that just tells you the kind of lifestyle I was living the first time he met me. So that was in 2010. We got back in touch, and that was March 2010. It was the 13th of March 2010. On the 12th of April 2010, he came to Scotland, and we met for the first time in 8 years. On the 6th of May 2010, I came to Belfast for the first time. Went back and put my house straight on the market. Moved over to Belfast on the 6th of August 2010. We got engaged on the 12th of April 2011. We got married on the 23rd of November 2011. We fell pregnant on honeymoon, and we had Sonny on the 11th of September. Wow. So it was like 40...
Like getting shit done.
Exactly. When you know it's right, you know. But you know what? I think by then I'd kind of got to where I was like, do you know what? I've messed about enough. Like, yeah. And I was scared to give myself to anybody because I didn't know who I was, and I was giving away something that I never knew. And I'd given away so much of my life that I was just like, I need to know what I'm doing. I need to know that what I'm giving, because I'd managed to lift that shadow self. So the part of me that was in front of me was going, yes, I'm Viv, I'm the party animal, I'm strong, I'm this, I'm that. What happened in 1999 told me, no, you're not. No, you're not. And you need to come to terms with this. And kind of met him when I was starting to make that change. Yeah. And, he was often scared the shit out of me because it was stability, it was security, it was love, it was all the things that we seek for human connection.
They were almost alien to you at the time.
But I had never been humanly connected because the only person I was connected to was myself, and that was in a really negative kind of way. So when we got back, so in 2010, so it came over here, and that was the real catalyst. It was like, oh my God, there's nobody knows me here. There's no, like, I can be the real me. Yeah. And nobody's kind of going to go, you've changed. Or nobody's going to go, look at her, look at your woman, who does she think she is? Like, getting on like that. So, love cures and heals everything, I believe. And I think it's something that we didn't show people enough of. We didn't, like, people are so scared to go, oh, but if I hug this person, or if I tell this person how amazing they are, or how good they look, or what, they're going to think I'm a bit creepy, or they're going to think I'm a bit what, and we all kind of. So I think, for me, a lot of it was around Tommy. I then at that point worked for a charity. There loads of things had happened within that charity. The funding had finished for my job. I then got handed a blank job description and was told, look, whatever it is you do with people is great, because you don't have a revolving door. People don't when people have come in and worked with you, they seem to get an awful lot from it. So again, Tommy was like, come on, Viv, like, how much more do you need to be able to go out on your own like this? And I was just like, no, I'll just keep going as I am. And then again, like, I floated in 2000. God, I've not even mentioned floating. Floated in 2004, completely turned my life upside down. Yeah. Just having that, release, like, floating is just like, it removes gravity. We spend 80% of our energy fighting gravity. It removes all the stimulation coming in through your 5 senses. So there's none of the 2 million bits coming in, there's nothing. And you just have a real chance to heal, a real chance the body and the mind to connect. Your body rests and repairs 4 times faster in a float environment than it does anywhere else. So I lived with quite a lot of pain because I'd stored quite a lot of my trauma, like, physically within my body. That was all starting to release. I mean, some days, like, my earlobes would hurt, my hair would hurt, my fingernails would feel like they'd been prized off. That was all starting to subside. So, but I was flying backwards and forwards to Scotland to visit family.
Just to float?
And floating while I was there. And I kept saying, somebody should open a float centre, somebody should open it. So Tommy was like, look Viv, you've got all this stuff that you talk about, you know, that you work with people in a one-to-one. You know that your floating's really good for people, you know, and you've spoke so much about having this, you know, if only somebody opened a float centre, then you could refer your clients. He was like, that's somebody's you.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, it's not. I've not got the money, I've not got the time, I've not got the... And he was like, do you know what? You spend all your time telling people to get out of their comfort zone and to be comfortable being uncomfortable, as you have done, and blah, blah. He's like, but you know what's happened now is you became comfortable and you became a wage slave. And I was like, I'm not a wage slave. I am not. And he was like, yeah, you're quite happy to sit back, take it away. Like, you don't get me wrong. He's like, you're good at what you do and you see change in people and stuff, but you're quite happy just to... He's like, step outside your comfort zone. I then got a phone call from the council saying I had been accepted for this course and I was getting 35 hours of free business advice. And my question to them was, what the fuck are you talking about? I've not applied for this. And he says, yeah, Tommy came in and seen us. So I was straight on the phone to Tommy, like, what are you doing? And he was like,
brilliant.
Have they been in touch? And I said, yeah, I still got it. And he was like, go and speak to them. So I went and I met Melanie, I keep calling her Fitzsimmons, but it's Fitzpatrick. And she done my business plan for me free of charge. She's a brilliant business, you know, to work with. So she done that, and then I came back and I said to Tommy, right, here we go, I've got this and blah blah. But, you know, it's going to cost about 25 grand and I haven't got that. And he went, I have. And I was like, right, you give me 25 grand then and I'll start a business. And he went, right.
Wow.
And I was like, you're joking me. So he gave me the money. What I quickly realised, I'd been doing research all around the place, was that the cabins that I actually wanted were, you know, the ones I wanted, they were going to be handmade. They're 7 feet in height, they're 6 feet by 8 feet. When I had floated, I'd done it in a pod that you climbed in and closed the lid on top of yourself. But back when I first floated, I was trying to save my life. I was trying to, you know, so that I didn't kill myself. And I remember going, fuck's sake, this looks like a coffin. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to climb in this and close the lid on top. I'm like, I'm supposed to be trying to keep alive. So for me, that was a huge, right, we need to break down the barriers for floating so that people will really get it. Not everybody's into the dark. So I was like, right, we need to have music, we need to have colour therapy in here. Not everybody's into silence, we need to have speakers for music. So I ended up creating this whole thing in my head. Cabins were £30,000 each. Yes, I'll get 2 of them. Then I was like looking at how we were going to, redo all the unit that we got, because it was the unit that we were in was what are they called again? Like a industrial kind of unit. I was like, how can we renovate this so as that was going to cost 27 grand? So I was kind of like, and then we had all the other stuff on top of it. So my £25,000 turned into a £100,000 project, and Tommy was like, well, I've not really got any other money. So he was like, and you can cut back on this and cut back on this and cut back on this. He was like, that's what you need to open. So cutting a long story short, which I've not done, I know, is I spent £27,000 of his money. I packed in my full-time job and I put myself £66,000 in debt, and just became comfortable being uncomfortable yet again, because there was no other way to do it. I was just like, so here I am, just over 3 years down the line. I have, I think, about £8,000 worth of debt left. I have a thriving business. I'm now developing, over this last year, I'm going back to doing a lot more of the kind of one-to-one stuff. So somebody gave me a piece of advice about a year and a half ago, saying the best way to run a business is to work on the business, not in the business. Yeah. So I stepped back from working in the business. I brought someone in full-time who runs the centre for me. I have employed the services of yourself. I've employed the services of Ashley from Copper Square. I've employed the services of Kerry Hunter, my bookkeeper. I've employed the services of an accountant. So I've outsourced as many things. I've learnt what my strengths are. I've learnt what I'm good at. I'm good at working with people. I'm good at enabling people to connect to themselves, because I came from a place where I was so disconnected from everything and everybody, that is my key strength, is getting people to link back into who they are.
And now you're out there as the wellness consultant, putting those programs in place, whether it's, you know, the mental health first aid, or your CAM, your RAFT, your smart recovery, your understanding behavioural change, all of those different programs that you have into workplaces, into schools and other organisations and stuff like that. How, looking back, did you ever think that this might be where you are, helping people? You know, when you see that girl putting the key in the door to walk through the door with the anxiety of what's it going to be today, Did you ever think for 1 second that you would be the person helping those people?
And do you know, it's interesting you saying that, because even looking back now, putting that key in that door, putting the key in the door these days, the first thing that was in my head was, as much as I was probably anxious, but what I remember back to there was like, right, this going through this door dictates what I do next. Do I walk in and put my bag down and go into the kitchen or the living room and have a conversation? Do I walk in, go straight up the stairs to my bedroom, or do I simply shut the door again? So that, you know, looking back at that, it was always about process for me, and I always had this innate belief that it's going to be all right. Like, I remember being 3 years old, and I don't know if I dreamt this or what happened, but I'm going to tell you. I remember being 3 years old and lying in the long grass and visualising myself coming out of myself and looking down on myself, telling myself it's all going to be all right. Now, I don't know if that's because something had happened at that time that had, as a kid, made me, I don't know if that was maybe if there was a huge trauma that was linked to around that time, or I'm not sure what it is, but I've always had this knowing that everything's going to be all right, that it's all going to be all right. Even in my darkest days, you know, like on the run from a domestic violence relationship, on the street with the clothes that me and my son had on, you know, sleeping behind a shop, there was still something that was like, this is going to work out all right, this is going to, and I think it's having that hope, and I've always had that hope, and I've always had a belief that I'm going to do something. I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to do something. Whether it was like, you know, die at 27 and become part of the 27 club, or go on and change the world, or heal the world one float at a time, which is my current mission. I've always had this belief that there's something inside, and there's something inside everybody that's stronger than anything, that's stronger than steel, and that is hope. And when we lose hope, we've really not got anything else left.
Yeah. And what would you say, just sort of lastly, I'm conscious that you've parking.
Aye, that's it.
If anyone is listening to this that finds themselves in a position of, I suppose, helplessness or hopelessness, or someone who maybe feels that things just aren't going to plan or not going how they would like, what would you say to them? What would be the first thing that they really need to do?
The first thing I would say is focus on your breath. Just bring your attention to your breath. Like, the first thing, like if we expire because we take our last breath, right? Now that is what expiration's about. It's when you die. It's when you. So the last thing we do is breathe out. Then we are inspired by the first breath. So for as long as you're breathing, you're inspired. So bringing the focus of your attention to your breath and just focusing on how your body feels as it rises and falls. Take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out, and let your breath that goes out be longer than your breath that comes in, and just think to yourself, what if things could be different? Because right away you're giving your unconscious mind, what if things could be different? What if your unconscious mind will then go, well, if things could be different, you would be blah blah blah. So it's always just thinking, you know, what if, and you know, like the power's in the mind. It really is.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Vivian. I'm just typing away here to try and find what's the Wellness Consultants
www.wellnessconsultantni.co.uk.
And HydroEase?
It's www.hydro-ease.co.uk.
That's brilliant. So do catch up. Vivian is also on social media all over the place. You can't miss her. As am I. You can find me on Instagram at Tina Belfast, Twitter at Tina Calder, Facebook /TinaCalderJourno, and of course you can check out the Content Club, which is one of our Excalibur Press brands. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you, Vivian, for taking the time today, and I hope to talk to you a little bit soon.